Today is January 15th, 2019, and we are opening up our Public Affairs Committee meeting, the first one of 2019. The time now is 6:37 p.m. May I have let's take a moment of silent meditation before the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Madam Village Manager, may I please have roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Vice Mayor Omar Nickerson.
Here.
Mayor Claudio Cubillos.
Here.
Councilperson Vamari Roman.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chairperson Roman.
Next, we have the approval of agenda. Right now, we just have the tracking report that we're going to go over. Does anybody have anything else that you want to add?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. With that, do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay.
I second the motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor Cubillos has motion. Vice Mayor has second. All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't see any minutes in our report. Did you guys see them? Okay, so we'll move that over and for the next meeting. And we do not have anyone in good and welfare present, so we're going to move forward. And we'll go forward with the tracking report. Okay, so what I've done here is that I printed out the budget for public affairs, and I took a look at the tracking report that was emailed by the clerk, which I realized that it was very outdated, and decided to just go ahead and update the report myself according to what our budget has. I also added a column that says the actual expenses. I just think that's an easier way for us to keep track of the expenses, especially since many of our items here do have our budgeted items. Right now, the numbers that are there for the budget is obviously based on our 2018-2019 budget. There's a couple of items that we didn't have any numbers for, which I wanted to just kind of go over. And one is, it says here, this was on the report already, and I just left it there for the website, Mayor. It says to be upgraded in this fiscal year.
Yeah, we need to, she needs to provide what that would look like. I think the only thing that she has made, I'm sorry, Sarah, she is our website manager.
Okay.
What she has made mention to both the clerk and I is that there's not a problem bringing it up to date as it relates to maybe like a new face or a facelift. The thing is that all of the oldness that's on there is how is it and where is it archived. I think that's the only thing. What we have made sure to do, and I think all of us are active doing that, is making sure we're always sending information either to the clerk or to the manager or to Sarah herself to make sure it's always up to date and it's fresh. That we're doing much better of. That as soon as she submits something to us, it's something for us to approve and we have the budget for. Because to get a whole new website to include an app and maybe better police reporting or more police reporting, it'll probably cost the village like $5,000 or $10,000, and we just haven't really done that yet because it's what we have been doing has worked, just like sort of minor updating.
Okay, so right now we don't have a estimate from her. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at this moment in time, let me just be clear again, and we'll go to you. What we're looking to possibly get a quote for is if we wanted to add an app and if we wanted to add police reporting to the website.
And more of like user friendly, because I think if you add an app, then the website is more app driven. So you have to click on an icon and then it takes you somewhere where right now it's not like that. It's more like pages. Okay. So when Sarah and I first talked about what that would look like, and that was probably 3 years ago, and that was like $5,000 back then. Mm-hmm. But I honestly have not re-spoken or brought it up to her. I've just more focused on ensuring that she gets as much up-to-date information as it relates to everything that we're doing and things. And actually right now, I know that we need to upload some videos and things like that to make it accurate,
Okay.
more accurate.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that, it doesn't have a search, so I think it would be good to have like a search where you don't have to go through the entire, you could just type in something and it'll just come up. So I do agree that it does need to get updated, and I'm sorry, did you have something, Norman?
Yeah, if I may. At last week, we had the League of Cities Attorneys Luncheon, and the entire focus of the luncheon was website accessibility concerning ADA compliance. And without getting too specific in terms of the concerns, there was this wave of litigation, the best way of saying it, most of them are nuisance value litigation. And the suggestion was villages and cities that have their websites should have a simple audit done by the Miami Lighthouse to make sure that our websites are compliant. So what I'll do is in the next maybe week or so, send you my notes and the outline of the talk. It was really well done. We had Christopher Stearns, who's the lead counsel from the League of Cities, was moderated by Hans Altena, the Sunny Isles Village. They just went through the whole process.
Oh, okay.
And they
Sunny
had,
Isles?
right, and they also had the executive director from the Miami Lighthouse, and her name escapes me, but
That's good.
she can't see. And so what they do is they come in and they take a look at your website to make sure it is actually compliant to avoid these types of flash lawsuits that are going on in the country.
Oh, that's great. If we're deciding to update it, that'd be a good time for
Right.
for us to do it. Excellent. Any feedback, Christine?
No, except that if we're going to do the upgrade, we should also have forms on there, like the permitting and all of that too. So, okay, so we have a good list to present to Sarah and to get quotes for.
Great.
So you plan for like the new fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. And then, Vice Mayor, did you have
No.
anything in regards to the
No, thank
website
you. No,
updates? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll leave that blank for now. I have a quick question. I know that there was some back and forth about some of the council perhaps giving some of their funds over to Horace Mann. Did that ever happen? And, because we have $250 here budgeted, so, that are still here, so I was just.
No, that never happened. We're exploring other options.
Okay, perfect. So okay, so that's $250 is still available
Right.
for Horace Mann.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, general things that we use for if we do a walk with them, or the village-wide cleanup that we do with the children and the police officers, or anything that they may need for, just a line, we've always had a line item for horsemen.
That cleanup is not on here. Should we add that cleanup to this?
Oh, I don't know, I think the cleanup is on the public safety, because it's generally done with the police officers, but it could be in either one, but you're right, it's not on here.
It's on the older ones.
Oh, and no, Little River cleanup.
No, that's separate.
No,
Little-
the,
no, it's
Oh,
not
the
on the
Little
old one,
River.
because I looked at the old
Oh,
one.
it's not.
No, it's the
separate.
village-wide cleanup has always been on the public safety, because it's always something that is done with the police officers. But when you really look at every event, all of them are done with them, so it doesn't matter if.
I mean, I think we should keep all the events in one, and it is part of public affairs. So that, what is that called again?
I called it Operation Village-Wide Cleanup. It used to be done in October for many, 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 many years. I offered to do it in April, because it was Earth Month. And so we started doing it April, probably like 2 years now.
Okay,
So it's
so
been
it's
in
April. Okay, and do you remember off the top of your head, there's a budget? I can look it up, but,
I don't remember.
okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll add that,
If it is, it's small.
we'll add that here.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then the role models, unfortunately, I just confirmed with the manager that that was not secured for us
Okay.
this year, so that's $750 that we have there. Definitely, I recommend that we keep it on there for the following year, and then hopefully we can jump ahead and buy the table and be represented there. We have the senior luncheon, which was added at the budget, the State of the Village, the Little River cleanup, the League of Cities dinner. It was this this is for a table, right?
The League of Cities is for the table.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. And then, the turkey giveaway, that's a donated item, correct?
Turkey giveaway, we receive about 40 tickets from the League of Cities.
Okay, so do we have to budget anything for that?
Well, I was gonna say something when you got down to Christmas. You added the column for budget, which I thought was great. You added the actual expenditure, which I thought was great. What about adding a column for
Dates. For what?
donations?
Oh,
Like donations and sponsors, so we can keep track of what's actually
Oh,
raised?
Okay, yep,
That also might be a good idea, because one of the areas when we raise money is really for these events. So that might help, sort of offset when we realize, how much we're spending, what have you.
okay.
Because I was gonna bring that up over at Christmas. But it would be, with the toy giveaway, one of the things that I had looked at was, I got a lot of sponsors this year, and I'm kind of looking to be able to do that for, the turkey giveaway this year,
Okay. So we'll leave it at donated and
Yeah.
not budget anything?
and then add a column.
Because nothing was budgeted, so just
Yeah.
leave it there, okay. And then I did want to leave the welcome wagon, this was old here,
I know.
but I do believe that this is important. And so I never received this
Mhm.
when I moved in, which was almost, 17 years ago.
Mhm.
But I'd like to perhaps for us to implement, something, because I think it is a great way to welcome someone
And we,
that
and
just
we
moved
have,
in.
and we have this sample pamphlet. There is a sample pamphlet that has, like, all the basic information that, when you move into El Portal, we would like, who do you call, or how do you do this, and all of that. So there is a sample pamphlet. I know I have the electronic version, I don't have a hard copy of it. So if there's something that we want to tackle, I can definitely send it to the clerk, and then we can all have it. But I have to look at it somewhere archived, but I definitely have the old version of it.
So maybe this is something we can look at for the next meeting. It's have all the bring it here and then maybe discuss it. And then, in the meantime, Christiane, I guess you can figure out how it is that we learn that someone new has moved in, like in terms of purchasing the houses, because we gotta track that in order for this to work. So we have to track, who's purchased in the village, and then, I don't know how rentals
Yeah, I don't
go.
know.
I mean, is there anything that needs to be filled out here for
No.
rentals?
I can't imagine, but
Okay.
we'll look into
We,
some of that.
Christina and I worked on months ago, the reoccupancy list. The reoccupancy list will help you determine who's new in the village, but when we pulled it up, it was giving us who sold as opposed to who purchased.
Right.
We just have to find a way to do it the other way around, because years ago, I know that I gotten it a couple times, and it allowed me the opportunity to send a note to them saying, welcome to El Portal, you just bought a home here. So it's a matter of, when Ms. Bubbly gets, I think Blair, right? Maybe gets squared away and more acclimated with the system, to see if there's a way that you can do a search, or, search for fields or what have you. But I know there has to be a way, because it was done years ago. But I don't know if since then the system has changed. That I don't know.
Right.
Because we're talking probably like 8-9 years ago when I first did it.
Well, then, we'll look into how we can research that or get that information.
So maybe we should,
If we can.
I mean, I know you've got a lot on your plate going on and, some vacancies, but perhaps you can, before our next meeting, if you can, if not, this is not pressing, we could always move it, is find out how we can track it, because it makes no sense for us to look at what we're gonna be offering them
Right.
if we're not gonna be able to track it, but I'm sure we should probably find a way to do that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Next, we'll move on to the newsletter. So I know that this has been going out for a number of years, and we have it quarterly. The only thing I've never seen is a budget. So,
The cost of it, I've generally used my discretionary for it,
okay,
to print them out. Ironically enough, Christina just asked me the question, she said, hey, do you want to go ahead and put it on the budget? Because I keep using my discretionary to pay for the printing of it. And there have actually been times that I pay for it and I don't even turn in the receipts. So it's something that we could talk about, because the newsletter is something that I hope keeps going. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that I did do was, as a matter of fact, just this morning, I sent over to, because of the last article, most of you put in a submission. And one of the goals that I'd like to achieve is to have all of you submit articles more often. You know, the attorney, the police department, the manager, every council member. And then I sent an email to our senator and to our representative, and I sent them the link. It was really hard to send them the link because it's such a big file, but asking them that for the March issue, because it's so close to legislative session, that I really hope that they could put like a spotlight in there as far as from their perspective, how do they see the legislative session coming along? We can put it from our perspective on what we are hoping to get monies for the village, you know, stormwater and what have you. But from their perspective, how do they see state ruling going with public records requests? How do they see it with home rule and things like that? So that was just today that I sent it to Senator Pizzo and Representative Joseph, but I didn't get a response back yet. You know, so hoping that, you know, that becomes more of that informational piece to El Portal.
Great. So when is the due date for each of the quarters?
The idea is always to have the newsletter out at least 2 weeks before bulk pickup so that the residents are fresh in their mind, oh, that's right, bulk pickup is coming. So it would be great if I can have the submissions for the first quarter by February 15th. And then if you look at the bulk pickup, every quarter, you know, guesstimate like 5 weeks before that. If we can get a submission 5 weeks before that, and actually, if you take a look at it right here, I think it's on here, like January 9th, April 7th, July 7th, October 7th.
5 weeks before bulk.
At least.
Okay.
Because
'Cause
you
what I
figure it takes about, by the time she gets it and all that, at least, you know, a week and a half to two to actually come to life.
I just think it'd be great to send out a calendar invite to everybody, because I know that if I don't put something on my calendar, it doesn't happen. So that way we all have it, and then everyone knows, and no one feels like they're left out, you know? So I will get the dates, and then Christia, do you think you can send the calendar invite?
I will have the clerk
Or
send
the
the
clerk,
calendar.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I forget she is.
But we'll do it. I mean, it'll be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, it's better
Somebody will
because,
do it.
because not all of us remember, some of us remember, and then when you get it, it's like just 3 people or 4 people as opposed to all of us.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do that. I'll just get the dates over to the clerk. I'll send them to the clerk. I'll just CC you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's that with the newsletter. National Night Out, backpack, I know that's mostly donations, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we'll do that. And then we've got Easter, the annual 5K. Now, off the top of my head, I couldn't remember when the annual 5K is.
The 3rd Saturday of May.
Okay, so 3rd Saturday of May. I guess we should go through the dates for these. 4th of July, obviously, is 4th of July. Halloween, Christmas, and then Arbor Day. And then Arbor Day is when again?
Barbara Fuchel has it at the 2nd Saturday in March.
Okay. 2nd Saturday in March. All right, so let's go back real quick to, okay, we talked senior luncheon. Do you have an estimated time frame?
No, it's really when the chair wants to do them. Last year, I think we only had one, and we had it in February for Black History Month.
Okay, so in 2018, this happened in February, okay. And then, State of the Village, that happens in, is it on?
The 4th Tuesday in August.
4th Tuesday. I'm just gonna I'm gonna add the dates to the tracking, and then I think it's easier. And then the Little River cleanup, when is that again, do you remember?
The Little River cleanup, Kristen McLean usually has the date picked out. It's going to be a little different and sort of special this year. We're working on a project together along with the Florida League of Mayors. So it's going to be sort of a broad project, but I don't know. She usually picks like the Saturday after Arbor Day or the first Saturday in April. We try not to do it anything after April because then it's too hot.
Right. Okay. So I'll touch base with her in regards to the date that we're planning on this year. Okay, and then the League of Cities dinner, when is this?
The League of Cities dinner will be May 4th this year.
Okay. And then Turkey is November, we got that. National, that summer, that takes place in,
The,
August?
National Night Out is done on the second Tuesday, or was it the first Tuesday? No, the first Tuesday in August. But some cities, or some metropolitan, southern cities that are hot, they also do it in October. We've traditionally always done it in August, because we do it combined now with the backpack giveaway, but, it's the first Tuesday in August. That's National Night Out.
All right. And then Easter's Easter. Is Easter, does anybody know if Easter's early this year?
It's late.
It's late?
Late April.
April,
Like
okay,
20
good,
something.
all right, so. Late April, so I'll find out the date and then we'll figure out when we'll do that. 4th of July, Halloween's October, okay, so we've got that. So then our next event will be the Arbor Day for March. Is Barbara Fusel still the chair?
No, Barbara Fuschel, last year was the first year that she was not the chair, it was coordinated by the administration along with the Public Affairs Committee. And then the Albertal Women's Club coordinated the food as opposed to Janice doing it. So Barbara Fuschel did all the logistics for the event, and then Janice Koch would coordinate the food in all the countries. But last year was the first year that it was different. Last year, the administration coordinated the event, and the Women's Club coordinated the food.
Okay. Is this something that we would like to see, a chair? Because perhaps we can. do
Oh,
it.
no, in order to be Tree City USA, you must have a tree board, it's part of the
Okay.
requirements. So that is manned by a chair and 2 members, that for this year, we're gonna be selecting and solidifying. That's the only way that you actually are Tree City USA, yeah.
Okay,
So Christia should get those names by, hopefully I'll get them to her this week,
Okay.
for her and Robert Warner, because we submitted the application again.
okay.
But to be Tree City USA, you must,
Have the board.
and
it's
the Arbor Day,
chair-
and the celebration,
Okay, so it's the chair and
and 2 members, yeah.
And 2 members. Okay, so we'll have a new chair
Yes.
shortly, and then the 2 members, and then you'll get that to Christia so that she can get it to
For the
me.
yeah.
And then we can see if the chair can
Start
take the
planning.
majority of the
Yes.
planning
Okay.
over, and I'll ask the Women's Club if they still want to participate with this.
Logistics of the food.
Yeah. And then, we'll get planning on that. So that's our next event, and it looks like we don't have anything until, Easter after that, in April. And then also the Little River cleanup at some point in April, and then May would be the annual 5K. League of Cities dinner, May. Then looks like there's nothing in June, July 4th, then August, the State of the Village, National Night giveaway. September, doesn't look like we have anything, October, Halloween, and then we have Christmas. The only one I did not mention was the senior luncheon, which I guess we can take a look and fill in and see.
What I wanted to touch base real quick was Christmas. I know Christmas, this year we did a little differently than we've done in years past.
Right.
But I also think that maybe to that should be the toy drive giveaway, which is something that, generally the mayor has done with the police officers. This year, well, last year, I was able to get at least 4 really good donations. But in the event that I don't, and what we've done, because the demographics have changed so much in El Portal, for 2 years now, actually the 3rd year, we go to Phyllis Ruth Miller, because that would be the school closest to our town, even though it's not in our town.
Oh, I've done.
So, yeah, and you went 2 years ago when we first did it there, yeah. So the question is, we need to see how much money was actually spent for the Christmas event that they had here, and then put the line item, the column here, as far as the money that were raised, and then what was spent. But I think that when we look at Christmas here, is to take a look at what we do for the town as well as the toy drive. I think somehow they need to be done, so we don't forget the toy drive.
Okay, so the toy drive was not done this year?
Was.
Oh, it was, okay. So what was different this year? Or last year, 2018?
Well, last year we had a food truck night, we had Santa Claus, we had the tree lighting outside, we had the fire truck that came with Santa Claus. Where, remember, I don't know if you,
No, I didn't come
oh,
this
you
year.
weren't at the meeting on December when a resident came and was like, oh, you guys didn't do anything for Christmas, and then we kind of explained
Right.
that, you know, we had scaled things back, but in years past, what we had done.
Right.
This year, what they did was, Councilperson Mathis combined it with the Women's Club, and the Women's Club was showing the movie Elf. So he combined lighting up the tree in here, along with painting,
Face
ornaments,
painting.
ornaments,
Ornaments.
doing your self ornaments. And then, and he did it the same night, him and the Women's Club, booked it so that it was the same night that the FSC train came. So it was kind of all the same night,
Okay,
because the FSC train comes by, and that's something that they always do by themselves.
got it. Do you have anything to add, Vice Mayor? Sounds like you do.
Well, I remember that night I was, when we were here and I was speaking to the Women's Club. And, I don't know, just something to kind of put out there. I don't know, so the Women's Club, they're starting to do a lot of things that are like starting to combine with us in a way, because there's things like events in the village and stuff like that. But sometimes they're struggling to make everything happen. I didn't know if maybe not to like give them, you know, a line item or anything like that, because they're not part of the actual village, but there might be just going forward, just keeping in mind that I think that they're alleviating some of the burden on us when they do combine with more events. So I think maybe we should probably reach out to them even more often to combine maybe even more events. And along with that, it could help save us some money. I think something you might want to consider, because, you know, because a lot of times things get done better when it's like a lot more hands involved, because then there's a lot more people involved, it's more powerful. And so I noticed that, and so when I approached them during that Christmas situation, Christmas celebration, and I brought that up to them, you know, maybe if them in the village, I mean, they're the Women's Club of El Portal, you know, so it's just something I think we can keep in mind.
Well, I know, I think we've partnered quite a bit
Yeah.
in the past. I will reach out to them and find out what they have under calendar for this year. And I guess we can take it from there and then see, you know, I think, when I did that last year, although I wasn't, you know,
Yeah.
part of the Public Affairs Committee, I did meet with them to see, because I am part of the Women's Club, what it is that, you know, how we can combine our efforts. So I will do the same this year, and I'll make a,
And I just looked up, Arbor Day is the second Saturday, that's by resolution. So it's the second Saturday in March.
okay, so it is, okay. And that's by resolution, okay. Excellent. I don't have anything else in regards to public affairs for the moment. I will put on my creative hats on to see if there's anything else that we may want to incorporate, or ways that we can get out there more, get some factual information out, and all that's needed so that we can come together as a village. So that'll be my goal, is to try to unite us a little bit more and have a peaceful year ahead. And so hopefully, with public affairs, we can do some of that. But that's it. Anything else? Does anybody have?
Looking forward to working with you as our chair. I appreciate it, being on your committee.
Thank you. Well, that said, do I have a motion to conclude this committee meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Okay, the mayor has motion, second by the vice mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting has ended, and it's 7:06 PM. Thank you.